Hello girlfriends, welcome to my channel and welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody. It's great to have you join me today. If you are new here, I post curly hair content on Fridays and lifestyle content on Mondays. So I'd love to have you join me for either or both of those days. And I'd love to have you hit the subscribe button. That helps me out, and have you hit the notification bell because that helps you out so you never miss one of my videos. So let's get into what this video is all about. You could probably guess by the thumbnail. I started a newer series this year and I'm entitling it One and Done series. And as part of this series, I try to look for products that I could use possibly as a single styler. So sometimes I've used these products in the past. Sometimes I've actually shown myself using the products on my channel. Sometimes I've paired them with other things, and then other times I haven't shown myself using them on the channel. So this is one of those cases where I've used this product several times. Haven't used it a ton, but I really have enjoyed my experience when I have used it. And I think I've talked about it on my channel too. But this is the Nature's Little Secret Strawberry Styling Smoothie. Now this is one of those products on Nature's Little Secret website where she doesn't always have this in stock. It is kind of limited edition, but she does bring it out, and I'm not sure if she's going to be bringing it out in these summer months or anything like that. It would seem like strawberries are in season then. So I'm hoping she would, but all that to say, I do know she does bring this back every now and again, so keep your eye out on the website for that. But let's go over the information on this product and we'll begin styling with it. This is the Nature's Little Secret Strawberry Styling Smoothie. The strawberries are sweet and juicy, a popular fruit that is beneficial to your body as well as your hair. Strawberries are full of antioxidants and vitamin C, which helps to promote healthy hair growth. They keep your hair shiny and smooth, and strawberries are known to help reduce hair shedding. Our Strawberry Styling Smoothie will help enhance your natural curl pattern while moisturizing and nourishing your hair. The directions say that on wet hair, add the product evenly throughout the hair and style as desired. So that is pretty much what we're going to be doing. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. By the way, as I said, at the time that I'm filming this, this is not currently on their website, but if she does bring it out, usually her products retail between like $14 and $16. So I think that will be about the price, but I'm not sure exactly what I paid for it. Now with me being a finer hair curly, I tend to not need a lot of moisturizing products. I can get away with a little bit more what some people would consider drying or lighter moisture products. But my hair is also one of those that I can also kind of dip my toes into some of those cream stylers and things like that. I just have to be careful with how much I go in with. And so this is one of those that I have found, as I said, that I have enjoyed in the past. I have used it a couple times, but you can't really tell. Like, you can maybe see my finger marks in there a little bit, but you can't see hardly any product missing. So we are going to go in with a little bit of this. Let me show you what this looks like. Like, it is a thicker cream. I have also used her Irish Sea Moss styling cream, and that one I've used it as a single styler as well, but I like this one better. I think this one is better for finer hair textures. And when I say that, I don't mean you necessarily have to go in with a cream with finer hair. A lot of finer hair girls can get away without using a cream, but if you do really want to incorporate one in your routine, lighter creams are definitely going to be easier to use without weighing your hair down. So this is the product that I have. Okay, let's rub that in. I kind of got in areas I didn't want to get it in between my fingers. This is what it looks like, kind of emulsified on my hands, and I think I actually have a little too much. We'll see. It is my only styler though, so I do have to keep that in mind. I'm not going in with something else on top of it. I definitely like to get these top areas, and I can see I didn't get this all rubbed in, but this is like my drier area. By the way, if you notice my eyes are red and watering, that's because I just had a coughing fit. I'm getting over a cold, but for some reason my throat is feeling really dry today, so I gotta fix that. All right, now I'm just going to brush this through. I can't really feel too much of it in my hair. My hair just feels soft and smooth at this point. It feels well moisturized, but I don't feel product like, I don't know, like really layering up on my hair. I don't want to say like it's not coating my hair, because it is coating my strands, I'm sure it is, but like you don't feel it necessarily. Does that make sense? Sometimes you can feel product coating your hair, and sometimes you just know it's there even though you can't necessarily feel it. Now, by the way, this did smell faintly of strawberries when I first purchased it, but wasn't strong. And I think it does still kind of smell like that, but really honestly with this like lingering cold, my sense of scent is not there. So I'm not the best for deciding that right now, but I don't It's very faint if you do smell anything. All right, so I've already started brush styling this. I've done the back section, and I did have a brief intermission where I had to, my dog got sick. Elmo threw up a little bit, so I had to clean that up. Came back here and finished brush styling the back portion of my section and everything, and just some things I wanted to talk to you about with this cream. Some things that I've noticed is that, one, I've already kind of said this is a very smooth cream. It's very easy for the brush to glide through. It's very softening, and that can be very nice. Although with finer hair, sometimes with like a softer finish of a hair, you have to be concerned, like, is that going to allow my curls to hold up? And to that, I usually just say, add some hairspray. That's my preference, that's my choice. And that's why I've always used, when using this cream styler, I've used this as like a single styler, and then I've added the hairspray after my hair was dry. However, we're not going to do that today. We're just going to use the cream and see how it goes. Anyways, another thing that I've noticed is that as I go through each section, I usually re-wet each section to brush style. And that's what I have been doing. But usually I have to go back in and add some more water before I go to scrunch, just because like my hair feels like it's drying out. And I don't feel like that is the case this time at all. I feel like my hair is retaining the moisture pretty well. Maybe that's just because it feels so smooth in my hair. I'm like attributing that to the moisture, but I actually honestly do think that this is holding the water in my hair pretty decently. I am going to wet these face framing pieces down though, because I didn't get to those the first time. All right, just going to kind of gently rake my fingers through some areas. I've scrunched the back some, but it's always sometimes easier for me to kind of like bring it around to the sides and scrunch it a little bit more that way. All right, what do you guys think so far? I like what I'm seeing so far. I do see a little bit of frizz right in this region, so I am going to add some water. I'm going to add just a little bit of water and then smooth that down with my hands and then scrunch again. All right, moving on to this next section. I am just going to actually fast forward my brush styling process through this side and the top, and we'll meet again as I'm scrunching things out. Or yeah, scrunching things out, I guess that's what I want to say. All right, so now I did just go in with a little bit more water before scrunching all over, just because I did feel like some of the bottom areas that I had done first, that I brush styled first, were starting to kind of dry out a little bit. Not like dry out frizzy, just dry out because it was like setting, kind of like my hair was naturally drying. This is one of those products that I know the directions say you could apply it on wet or damp hair, but personally for my curl clumps to form, I like to style on wet hair. Like I said, it allows my clumps to actually clump together. And then if you want to go in, I guess the only time that I would go in with this on damp hair is maybe if I wanted to do like more of a slick back style, but didn't want like a crunchy or cast feeling that a gel might give me. So if you want to do like a sleek bun, you could add a little bit of this product to tame some of the flyaways on more damp hair, and I could see that being a thing. I just never use creams that way. It's just not something I personally do, but I have seen other influencers do that. So, okay, my hair is looking pretty good. I feel like very minimal frizz. If anything, it's probably stuff that I've caused by my brush styling. Sometimes I'm just not as careful with brush styling as maybe I could be. And now that my wet plop is on, I am going to let this sit on for about 10-15 minutes, diffuse, and I'll come back and I'll show you my results. All right, friends, we are back with my hair fully diffused and styled, and let's take a look at these results. The underside. You guys, this is a very soft style. This is, I know there's frizz in here, but when I reach for a cream as a single styler, I honestly expect there to be frizz. And I expect it to be soft, lightweight, bouncy. I expect it to dry fast, but see, I still have some bounce to my hair. That's a very fine curl. Can you guys see that? But see, she still bounces. It isn't maybe as spirally and springy as I've had before in the past, but I will say I'm kind of in that time frame where it's kind of borderline whether I should be using a cream as a single styler or not. I prefer to use creams as single stylers more in the colder months, the drier months, and right now it's not really that. It's not the extreme heat and humidity at all, but we do have quite a bit of humidity today. It is pouring outside, which is why I'm in my bathroom, because the lighting, even in my sunroom, is terrible. But I don't think that this looks bad. I have a decent amount of volume. It's not like super voluminous, but for me, this is a decent amount. I have curl pattern clear at the top of my hair. Like I said, I have frizz here. I have frizz throughout, on the undersides, on the top, but it blends in. It's like a functional frizz. That's what I consider functional frizz, is when it blends in with the style. If it doesn't take away from the hairstyle, in my opinion. And in my opinion, this is one of those cases where it does kind of blend in more. It doesn't bother me, I guess is what I'm saying. Let me show you what the back of my hair looks like. Now, as far as the moisture, like I said, my hair is well moisturized. It might be almost on the tad bit too heavy side for my hair. I might have gone in with just a tad bit too much. Or what also could be happening is my hair could still be just a slight bit damp. I think it is in this general pocket right back here in the back. That's where my hair takes the longest to dry, and I just get in a hurry sometimes to, like, you know, wrap things up with this video and everything like that. And so sometimes it's not all the way dry, but I think it's very minimal. I think it's very slightly damp. And also my hair will continue, like, even if you can't feel the moisture in your hair, the dampness in your hair, I should say, your hair will continue to dry out throughout the day. I know that happens in the winter and in the summer times most of the time for me. My hair from day 1 to day 2 definitely is different. Especially in the summertime, I feel like it does take longer for my hair to really, like, the moisture to suck up out of there, the extra moisture. I'm not talking about the emollient conditioning moisture. I'm talking about like the wet moisture to suck up out of my hair. It does take longer in the summer times, and a lot of times you can notice it where day 1 my hair will be one length and day 2 it will kind of have sprung up a little bit more. That's just something, like I said, I tend to experience more in the humid climates or the humid environments. So who knows, maybe this will spring up a little bit more tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see on that. So on that note, I will check back with you in about 24 hours. Okay, curl friends, I am here for day 2 hair using the Strawberry Styling Smoothie from Nature's Little Secret. That's what I'm trying to say. And this is what my hair is looking like. Definitely have some thoughts about it. So let's show you the back and then we'll get into those thoughts. For starters, I want to say that I am very impressed with how this has held up as a single cream styler. Now there are definitely areas where I feel like it hasn't held up quite as well, and that would be like this top area. When I flip it on the other side is actually where you notice it the most. I think you could see more frizz, significantly more frizz on this side. I did go out and run some errands, like I said yesterday, and it was raining. So maybe this area just got a little bit more of that, and like the frizz developed a little bit more. It was exposed to more of the humidity. But all that to say, I can flip it over on this side and she still looks pretty good. The thing is though, when I flip it on this side, I noticed in the back, because I took my pictures first this time, but I noticed in the back, this area is a lot more straight. And I think that just has to do with my curl pattern, especially like in the cooler months yet. These areas on either side, to be truthfully honest, I just have my part on this side so it disguises it a little bit more, but these areas are just a little less curly. And so although this side does seem to have a little bit more of a kink to it, or a little bit more of a curl than right here, this is just looking a little straight. But also what I have noticed too is my hair has shrunk up since yesterday. It has definitely, like the bottom areas, these areas, and even my top face framing pieces have shrunk up more. The curl has gotten tighter because that definitely was not the case earlier yesterday. But as the day progressed, as I kind of predicted it might with the humidity, my curls, like I said, did shrink up. As far as the moisture, my hair still feels really moisturized and good in that part. Is not going to be dry, which I didn't think it would be. For finer hair, it's not going to dry out more than likely with a cream styler. The volume isn't bad and I have a decent amount of shine. My frizz overall isn't bad. I do have some at the nape of my neck here, which is pretty common. And like I said, if I flip my part over, the frizz is pretty significant on that side, on the top. But other than that, it's not bad. I can still disguise it. You can't see too much of it, especially if I wear it, like I said, on this side. So I am pretty impressed with this. Like I said, as a single styler, I will say cream stylers as a single styler do have their time and place. So I think we should all be aware of that, because if you have finer hair, I don't think a cream styler is going to be the right move for you as a single styler. Especially if you have finer hair and lower density hair, you could probably skip cream stylers in general altogether. I think a foam or mousse would probably be best if you have very fine, low density hair. Finer hair that isn't maybe as low density can get away with maybe a gel as a single styler as well, or a foam or a mousse. Those with more medium to coarse textures can probably get away with using a cream as a single styler a lot easier than a finer texture would. I know I say I have fine hair, and I do. And I do have areas where they're more medium and more coarse. In general though, more of my hair is fine. I don't know why I can get away with it necessarily. Like I said, I cannot do this in the summertime, so I can't get away with it all the time. I think maybe just the texture of my curl pattern, and like I said, I do have a combination of fine, medium, and some areas are a little bit more coarse now that they're turning gray. Maybe that allows me to get away with it more than some of you could. So that is all I have to say about that. Let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. And oh, and another thing I really want to know, I was thinking about this yesterday. I said, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite single styler if you do choose to use just one product? What do you like to use? Do you use a foam or mousse? Or do you use a gel? Or do you prefer a cream as a single styler? I'd love to hear from you. I'm not sure, but I feel like a lot of you tend to have more of my hair texture and everything. And if you do, I just love to know what you tend to gravitate towards. So let me know in the comments down below. And until I see you again in the next video, have a great day. Bye, friends.